So, do you believe that theory that came out about, and I can't remember the exact time frame, but they said like in 20 or 30 or maybe even like 100 years that there's not going to be a such thing as like Caucasian people?
No.
You don't think so?
Because people are racist. They marry,
they
do everything within their race mostly.
But think about our generation and like the direction how like LGBT is becoming bigger, interracial is like, you know, it's more accepted. There's so much things are much more of a norm now. So I feel like can you imagine in 100 years like racism will be dead? I believe so. And, or at least a big form of it, where it's going to be enough people having interracial babies that those babies, you know, like the new concepts are a lot more like advanced, and progressive, I guess you can say.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't know.
Because of diversity. Okay, so I think a lot of like what you're attracted to is the type of diversity you had growing up. So like if you grew up with a lot of like I didn't grow up with a ton of Hispanic people, but like I grew up with a handful, and I'd say like I'm mostly attracted to white people and Hispanic people. Like that's just, I really think it's just that was and it's like with anything, with any like race or whatever. I think what you grow up with, you're more likely to be with. But if there's a ton of diversity, which is clearly heading that way with like big cities and stuff like that, and you grow up with a diverse group, then when it comes to mating age, you're gonna be more accustomed to like different types of people. So you like your brain will be more open to finding a partner who's outside of your race.
That's what I was gonna say. I think that if you are sheltered, like if you grow up in that environment where interracial is like something that's unheard of, and then you're sheltered for like the most important like years of your development, then I can absolutely see that gene being carried on where you're like, I'm not attracted to any other race. But for instance, when I was growing up, like it was definitely unheard of to be an interracial. Like it was like Spanish, like people were with Spanish people. My family was with Spanish people.
I was told growing up that you should not have children with a black person, because then you're going to have a mixed baby and they're not going to know which group they're in, so you're going to confuse your children.
That's insane.
I was told that growing up personally, because my cousin was dating a black guy.
I don't think we ever, because that's the thing in Spanish culture, I don't think it's ever a thing where we're like, why can't I be? Because we were never accustomed to it anyway until we came to America and we were like, whoa, there's other colors, like, you know what I mean? Like we have dark skin and we have light skin Hondurans, like, you know, but it's like it never, like you were telling me a while back, it's never been like that person's black or that person's white. I feel like only Americans do that. Like in other countries, we're all Hispanic. We're all from different barrios, or we're different towns, or different like areas of the mountains, but we're still fucking Hondurans, you know, at the end of the day. But I think it's something like whenever I didn't start realizing about interracial relationships until I went to high school, and I was surrounded by white people, and then I was like, it was slim pickings. Yeah, you were.
Were the guys into Hispanic girls though?
No,
I didn't think
absolutely
so.
not. No, and no one at our school.
That was a negative for you. Being Hispanic was not good.
Because white people were so sheltered, and they didn't think,
She's got brown skin.
It's literally the opposite side of the spectrum. Like, I'm used to dating within my, like, we were accustomed to dating within our race, and then they are as well. So when we both get together, we're like, well, you're hot, and I'm hot. We're confused. It's like, we can't, what do we do with these emotions? Yeah. Is this wrong? And then half of them didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Guys really don't. Like, at least I think I think the guys at our school did.
They gave a shit.
They gave a shit, for sure. Because they were all, like, you could tell half of them were raised in those environments where their parents, their parents are white. They've been married for 20 years and probably cheating on each other behind their backs. They for sure were. They were all miserable.
My parents weren't miserable.
Oh yeah, your parents definitely.
You definitely did not cheat on each other either. My mind would be absolutely blown to know that they were cheating on each other. I would be like, what? Everything that I've believed is like
a lie.
That's a lot of pressure to put on my parents. That's a lot of pressure for children to put on their parents to stay together, isn't it?
Yeah. But parents do it all the time, every day.
do.
There's so many people that are miserable. And, like, they only stay together for the children. And it never works out.
But then the kids are always like,
Yeah, they would just gotten divorced. You know, it's such a shitty ass thing. Like,
but what are your options?
You're gonna scar your children no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what choice you make.
Exactly.
So just choose what kind of scarring you want to. Do you want to give them trust issues, or do you want to give them abandonment issues, or both?
They're gonna have weird relationships for the rest of their lives. They're not gonna trust anybody, and
yeah, you're gonna fuck them. They're gonna
cheat on their spouses, or the opposite.
Be super loyal.
Yeah, like ridiculously. Like their spouse will get addicted to heroin and they'll stick in it. Yeah, it's like that's when I'm out. I'm sorry. When you're doing heroin, I am out of this relationship.
I am pressing the done button.
Oh my god! What if that was in your marriage, like in the
contract?
In your marriage contract, like if you get seriously addicted to a drug,
I have the right to leave.
I have a right to can we please just stay semi-sober together?
Semi. I mean, not all the way, not all the time, but semi at least. Marriages are so weird. When you think about it, the concept of it, I feel like Joe Rogan's talked about the concept of marriage and how it's just like literally it's a government.
There was a cool podcast on it.
There was.
Podcast? No. There was a cool Netflix.
Oh.
It was like I guess you could consider it a documentary, but it was from, man, what was it? There were these like 30-minute episodes about these different topics, and one of them was marriage, like the history of marriage, and like how it was definitely like a contract for like land and stuff like that. But it's like human psychology. Like we know that human beings are not monogamous.
Yep.
We're not. Like we like to have sex with different people. So it's kind of weird that like nobody has to get married anymore. Like there's no reason for us to have to get married, but people still do.
It's like more of a sentimental thing now. It's like instead of it back in the day, it was more of like a business contract, and now it's more of like, I love you so much, and this is the way I'm going to prove my love to you by promising myself for the rest of your life.
So much that you're promising. Like, why are we promising that? Why would I promise to someone that I'm going to love them forever? Like, I don't know if I will or not. You know?
That's such a high standard.
10 years from now, I am going to be such a different person. Like, I'll probably be a mom. I'll probably, like, be doing
but at the same time,
and then it's like,
can you imagine? I mean, your parents loved each other and still love each other to this day. So it's like you're kind of almost like saying, like if what you feel is true, like then your parents wouldn't be together or they'd be miserable. So I think true love can last.
God, you know what?
Absolutely.
Part of it is just compatibility.
Compatibility.
If you have fun with someone and you respect them, you'll probably just stay together. You know what I mean? If you have fun with someone and you respect them, you probably have a good marriage.
Yes.
But when you don't have those things, I can see it being really hard to stay together.
I feel like it's a little bit of compatibility and communication.
Well, yeah, it's a relationship, right? So any relationship, yeah, you have to be a good communicator.
Because if you, like...
You do.
It can, like, cause a strain. And I can definitely be guilty of that myself. It's hard to, like, get yourself out of that bubble of, like... Marriage is like you have to make work, you know, most of the time.
Like, no matter how compatible you are, you still are going to... There are going to be things that don't jive, that you're going to disagree. And you've got to learn how to, like, accept that someone... disagrees with you and, like, not worry about it.
I think one of the biggest things I learned in marriage is, like, they say, like, there's some, like, you know, there's, what do they call it, compromise in every marriage or every relationship in general.
Yeah.
But I guess, like, for me, what I didn't realize is how much, like, things can't be compromised. And there's some things that you can't come to, like, terms with. There's some things that is, like, the root of the person, and they can't change that about themselves. So it's kind of like, well, fuck, there is no middle. So either I have to accept it or I have to move on. And in the marriage, it's not as easy to just move on. So you have to kind of accept it. So these things that, it's like me and you as a friend. Like, if you and I as friends, if there's something that I do not absolutely like that you do, and you're just like, I can't stop. I can't do it. And you know, there's no compromise to that. Like, we didn't come with a solution. It was just like, okay, like, now I can shoot, like, it's easier to walk away from a friendship than it is from a whole fucking marriage.
Yeah.
You know, so marriage is so sudden.
That's a whole other thing, is like how permanent people find marriages.
Yes.
If you're used to people getting divorces, it's like, I think you're more willing to go into it because you're like, hey, if all else fails, like, I can divorce the guy.
But no, it's
like, that's not a good way.
No,
to
yeah,
go into
divorce is so complicated. Like, did you, like, especially in North Carolina, did you know that you have? Well, you probably definitely knew this, but like, you have to be separated, like, completely for an entire year, unless it's something that has to do with mental illness. So if you can prove that person is mentally unstable, they'll grant you a divorce. But if you cannot like, for sure prove that, or prove adultery, you have to be separated for an entire year.
Yeah, every state's different, apparently.
Yeah, they are. Some people you can just go in and boom, get a divorce. That's why in LA, California, celebrities get divorced like crazy because they don't have any repercussion. It's no process. Like, can you imagine, like, giving yourself a year to think about the choices that you're making?
How the hell is that the government's business? How much time?
Seriously. Why is that the rubric? Like, why is that the meter? Like, a year?
What if you've known for 10 years
and you just finally defiled it?
Okay, like, we're actually going to do this thing. Even I don't know. Does it count? I actually think, and I could be totally wrong, but I think in North Carolina, it's like after you file for you have to file for separation, and then once you file for separation, then you have to go a year until, like, what if you'd actually been separated? Like, what if you not lived with someone for years?
Now you have to go through a whole
and then another year
of nothing.
This reminds me of, what's that movie my mom loved so much? We had it on VHS. Sweet Home Alabama. Remember, she has to go back to her hometown and get a divorce?
Yes. That's a good movie. I haven't seen that in a minute.
I saw it the other day. I went to my parents' house and we were going through our VHS tapes. That is the funnest thing ever.
Have you ever found embarrassing VHS tapes that you forgot about?
We used to make videos growing up, like homemade videos, all the time.
Oh my goodness.
And half of them my brother's like just in his underwear. He's like 10 and he's in his whitey tighties, and I've got on like a big t-shirt, because that's what I used to sleep in when I was a kid, just like a big t-shirt and underwear, and we're like recording ourselves doing stupid crap, and like his friends will be in some of the videos, like Jason's in some of them.
Oh wait, I think I've heard about these.
With his nerdy little glasses. He was such a little nerd when he was little. He's changed so much in his appearance. Oh my God, he's a whole man. He's a whole man now. He is a grown-up man. He is not a child anymore.
Full-grown
I guess I am
adult.
too. We all
are.
We're not children.
The concept of time is fucked. It's like you blink an eye and it's like 5 years have gone by and you're not in school anymore, and you're just like living a day-to-day, and you realize how mundane it can be, which is why traveling is like my lifesaver, even if it's local traveling, because I'm like, I need to get out of this like cycle. I'm not a cycle person. I cannot work a 9-to-5 like office job. Absolutely not. My juices have got to be flowing. I got to be challenged somehow.
I was about to say, I just get bored.
Yes,
I'm definitely bored right now at work.
It's getting too tedious, or just like routine.
Hopefully soon though there'll be some different types of positions and I can do something else. I enjoy it. I really, 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 really enjoy it. But it's like I'm at the point now where I'm pretty close with like a lot of my students.
By the way, Emily works for a nonprofit. There's people that listen to this who don't know who you are and what you do. So if you want to talk about that first.
Okay. This is weird because you already know this, Carla.
Yeah,
so
I know,
I'm like
but
telling you ever again. Okay, this is, if I were talking to you, Carla, just being you, and you were like, hey, summarize what you do for a job.
Exactly.
And I'd be like, okay, here's a summary. So I work for a program that goes into high schools and serves the students who are in the OCS program, which means they have a low IQ, but like they'll still get a job at some point. Like when they graduate high school, they're going to get a job, but they're not going to go to college and stuff like that. Okay. So I go in there and I teach them these different skills about, like, how to act on a job, and then we also talk about, like, what job do you want to do. So we do these, like, personality tests, and we just talk about all the different job opportunities that would be, like, on their level and stuff. And we go on tours of different places that they could possibly work one day in the future. And then we also start taking the kids out once they've gone through that class. We take them out on this, like, we call it an internship. It's a paid work experience where they work for, like, 3 hours a day. We, like, actually pick them up from school, have them work for, like, 3 hours, and we monitor them and coach them and stuff in their work performance. And so it's a lot of fun. And so I get to meet all these students, and it's really cool because they're, like, 16 to 18 range, and I remember being that age.
Yeah.
And I remember how frustrated I was with adults and just life, and I remember just being irritated some days and just feeling like nobody was listening to me. And I try to be, I really do, I know it sounds cheesy, but, like, I try to be the person that I wish I would have had, sort of thing.
Yes, a mentor.
Yeah, like, someone that, like, my aunt, I remember when I was a kid, I would go to my Aunt Betty's house, and she would just listen to me. Like, even if I were talking about, like, something that did not matter whatsoever, like, some crap, like, some drama, where some girl said something, she would sit there and be like, oh my God, and she'd be like, what are you gonna do about it? Like, she would, like, seriously listen to me, and that's what I try to do with these kids. Like, when they're frustrated, a lot of times the adults just want to be like, you just need to do as you're told. Yeah, I don't want to hear it. You just need to do as you're told. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Why are you in a pissy mood today? Like, and they're like, oh, my girlfriend broke up with me. And it's like, oh my God, what happened? And then I sit there and listen to them, and then they get it out, and then they're good. Like, seriously, like, a lot of it's just, they feel like someone listened to them, and then they're good to go. And I'm like, okay, well, look, let's get this crap done really quickly so you can get out of ALC and you can go to work. Yeah. You know? But.
So what's the process of moving up in your job? I actually don't know this.
Oh my God.
Or moving to a new position.
Process. This company runs like the 1990s. I swear to God.
Oh, yeah, they still file by paper, by the way. I think everyone needs to know that.
Paper files in a file cabinet. And we have hundreds of clients, of students. We have hundreds of students. It is bonkers. It blows my mind. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
I can't believe it my damn self. That is insane. I don't know how you do it. Working with students would be so frustrating for me.
They're okay, really.
I guess because they're at that age where I hate them the most. Like, I like small children because, you know, they're just like, you know, they don't talk and put their opinions out, and they don't see themselves higher than most. But that age, that 18, like 16 to 18-year-old age, is when they just think they are the shit. A lot of them, at least. So it's just like, no one can tell them any different. I know, because I was like that when I was in school. Like, my mom could not tell me a motherfucking thing. And now I'm looking back and I'm like, I was a fucking idiot. I was low-key an idiot when it came to, like, life skills.
Yeah.
It was like, they haven't learned that. They haven't been on these streets. They haven't paid these bills.
It's so true. Like, I talk to kids sometimes. We talk about, like, what does it mean when people say, like, what's your availability? Because a lot of them have never gone to a job interview. Yeah. So it's like, what does that mean? What's your availability? For someone who's autistic especially, that's something that no one's ever told them before. Mm-hmm. And so when they hear that, they literally don't know what that means. Okay. So a lot of the kids are like, I don't want to work on the weekends.
Oh, no. They're telling them what they want to work.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
What they can work.
So they're like, yeah, I would be okay with working like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Or I would work, you know what I'm saying? I would work like Tuesday and Wednesday after school. But like, I've got sports, I got this, I got that. And I don't want to work on the weekends because I do stuff on the weekends. And I'm like, you're never going to get a job.
I've literally been given that response in an interview.
I don't like to work on the weekends.
I swear to you. When I was working...
My phone is in this car somewhere because I'm getting... The car's Bluetooth is going off. Oh, I wonder if it's my jacket.
Probably. when I lost, when I was working at the Boost Mobile as a district manager, I remember like this young girl, we were hiring for this new location. It was like one of my like first 5 interviews that I ever have done. And I was like, hey, so what do you, like, what's your availability? Like, what can you work? She goes, well, I just really don't like working on the weekends. Like, I have friends, and my friends, like, come into town from college, and I just don't want to, like, I don't want to work the weekends. I literally threw her application in the trash can when she walked out of my door. Absolutely, she had no chance.
But then at the same time, like, how old was she?
She was, she was like 19, like she just a freshman in the ACU.
Some people do not have parents or mentors that are telling them this stuff. Mm-mm. She thinks that's reality.
Yeah.
Someone has told her, or for some reason she believes that that's reality. No one brought her back. I mean, it's sad in a way.
I was about to say, it's just the environment that these kids, like, the only reason why I know that is because I was, in Future Business Leaders of America. And because when Miss Shepherd in computer class, she was also like a business major, and she was like, had a business, owned a business. So she like spoke about these, like how to write a check, like all these cool life skills, but that's not a requirement anymore. Or not even that it was a requirement back then. I just think we were lucky. Because there was some classes I did, and I learned a lot of life skills in that class when it came to finances. But I talked to like people who went to other schools like Eastern Wayne or Charles B. Aycock, and they didn't learn the same skills, or like they had different set of skills. Like for instance, Goldsboro High School, my nephew's graduated from that school, and they had a class which I cannot remember what it's called, but it's a program. It's like a third-party program, kind of like we did with JCC, the Johnson Community College. Where like that class will actually give them a credit or like a certification so that they can go and do like a trade right after high school and go straight into the workforce. So, but like it's crazy because they wouldn't have that kind of program in Princeton because the kids there are more like, a higher class, like middle to upper class people who don't have to worry about going straight into a trade after school. They go straight to college, or they
people are pushing trades now because the fail rate of college. I mean, people know, like, you can make as much, if not more money going into trade and, like, literally being, like, not even going into debt. Or you could be, $100,000 in debt and making, $40,000 a year? Like,
it's just a more sensible option.
Yeah.
Overall, because, the money you
spend. Is freaking amazing. Everybody knows that. They're so cheap. People are starting to realize, and it's really, really good.
Yeah, because universities are just, I feel like, especially like whenever we were in school, I felt like it was more of like a social class. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what college are you going to?
Totally.
Or like, people were excited to go to college for the freedom. The same way middle schoolers are excited to go to high school. They think there's like another freedom and like another like level of freedom. When in reality, it's like no, it's just like 10 times harder because you have to be self-sufficient, and you've spent 12 years of your life not being self-sufficient.
I don't know though. If you live on the dorm, it is kind of different. That's a different life.
Really?
On dorm, yeah.
See, I never lived on the dorm, so I don't really know much about it.
Because you live with a bunch of other chicks and sometimes dudes your age, and you all eat together because there's like a cafeteria thing. So you like get up with your roommate and you're like, the people that you know, and y'all go get dinner together, and it's like. But at the same time, a janitor comes by and gives you more toilet paper. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
There are all these, like, it's an easier way of life. You know what I mean? You don't have to cook for yourself because you can go down to the cafeteria. So it does kind of ease you into adulthood, I think.
I was just about to say, I feel like that would be, it's like they're slowly, because you still have freedom, because you still have your free time that you have to manage and, like, schooling.
But they make you get back in the dorms at certain times and stuff, too.
Oh.
So, like, I think it's, like, I don't know, after 10... No, it's definitely not 10, but it's, like, after a certain time during the weeks, and then another time during the weekends, you, were they all
Did you live in the dorm just for your first year?
I lived in the dorm at NC State for one semester.
Oh, wow.
And that was, oh, my God, you're paying so much money for such a small space. Like... dorms are way too expensive for what those buildings must have been there since the like 60s. They were so old, and they were charging me like however much. Like, looking back, like, it should have been like $100 a month for me to live there. They have gotten their money's worth out of those buildings.
For sure. Yeah, my sister's dorm was fucking awful.
Yeah. And then I went to JCC for a year and a half, and then I went to Charleston. The first year I was at Charleston, I was in a dorm. Because I didn't know anybody, so, like, I just did not feel comfortable, like, moving into an apartment since I got there. Which was good because I met some good friends and stuff. And then we ended up getting an apartment later. And then we got another apartment. So.
That's dope. College is a whole another experience.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But it prepares you in a way. I guess it socially prepares you. It's hard to be non-social in college.
I'm telling you, if you get in a sorority or fraternity, you really are setting yourself up for success. I'm not going to lie.
You'll never have to worry about social anxiety.
Friends, but, like... it pays off in the long run. If you get in with like other chicks who their daddies like run major corporations,
that's true. You get like, connections. It's
oh
like
my
a networking
God,
event.
you get so many connections after college.
I never thought of it like that.
That's exactly what it is.
You're securing your future in a way by just being social and liked. That's such a disgusting way to look at it. Yeah. It's such a damn. It's a corporation in every sense of the word. They just profit off each other.
But even college in general is like that because you're getting together with other kids who have, in how we view it, who have futures, big futures.
Yeah.
So you're getting together with other smart people. Think about if you go to Harvard, everybody that comes from Harvard is doing something, whatever they majored in, even if they like had the lowest GPA. So if you can get into Harvard, like, you should go there and then just meet people and then, you know, off of their success, you know, like, hey, I'll come work for you.
Because you are who you surround yourself with. Yeah. I truly believe that. So successful people, like, attract other successful people. And if you're not successful, you want to be successful by being surrounded by that. So it's, like, encouraging in a way. That's why hanging out with, like, very well-off folks, like, it makes you want to be well off, like, in a way, even if it's not even like materialistic, but it's like, I want to be able to wake up and not have to worry about a bill, you know what I mean? Like, it just is like automatic, like, never have to look in the bank, like, I know I have it, never have to worry about overdraft fees or credit limits or any stupid shit like that.
That's so interesting. I've never really been in a position like that.
Really?
Other than when I was traveling and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that was totally on me. But I always knew if something happened, I would be fine. Like,
really?
There's no bill that could go on. Like, my parents would cover it. I mean, not like that, but like, if I was to the point where I was like homeless,
you got a fallback plan.
I could go stay with my parents, and my parents are going to support me until I get myself.
Honestly, I could say the same though, because my mom was always that type of person that would take us in no matter what. Like, I mean, you could have literally punched my mom in the face, and a month later you would have fell homeless, and she'd be like, "Come on in. I'm gonna beat your ass for hitting me in the face, but come on in."
Yeah,
like I never have to worry about being homeless, but my pride gets in the way.
Oh,
I've gone through too much because I am too prideful.
Yeah.
Or not even prideful, but I'm just, yeah, I'm prideful.
I don't want to have to ask my parents for money. I haven't had to.
It makes me feel icky as hell.
I haven't had to since I've been, you know.
Have you ever been to Mystery Hill? Up there around here?
I don't know what that is.
It's an optical illusion place, and like they have like there's like
oh my God, yes, I've been to optical illusion places where you have to walk through the tunnel, and it looks like, man, I get way too motion sickness for that. Like,
I lose my balance. I'm too
clumsy.
clumsy.